Have you ever noticed that sometimes being with your pet makes you feel more connected than being with another person? It's an interesting paradox, how some people can sit quietly beside their cat or dog and feel completely at peace, yet when surrounded by people, they feel unseen, unheard, or even lonelier than when they're alone. So why does that happen? And what does it say about the way we connect, emotionally and psychologically? Let's start with the bond we have with our pets. Animals love us in a way that feels simple and pure. They don't judge, interrupt, or expect us to be someone else. When we come home tired, stressed, or emotionally drained, our pets don't ask us to explain. They just are there. A soft gaze, a wagging tail, a quiet purr. Those small gestures remind us that love doesn't always need words. In psychology, this connection is deeply tied to something called unconditional positive regard, the idea of being accepted without judgment. Pets give us exactly that. They don't care about our mistakes, our careers, or our social image. They respond to our presence, our energy, and our care. That's why people often say, "My pet understands me better than most people do." Because in many ways, it's true. They feel our emotions on a raw, intuitive level. Spending time with animals can even lower stress hormones and increase oxytocin, the bonding chemical. That's why being around pets often feels healing. They help us stay present. They don't remind us of the past or worry about the future. They simply exist in the now. And that energy can calm even the most restless heart. But that doesn't mean human connection is less important. Being with people is different. It's more complex, layered, and sometimes messy. Unlike pets, humans bring their own fears, insecurities, and expectations into relationships. That's why being around people can sometimes feel draining instead of comforting. When we talk to someone and they don't really listen, or when we open up and they don't understand, it creates emotional distance. Psychologically, our brains register that as rejection, even if no one intended it. And rejection, even subtle, can trigger feelings of isolation. So yes, you can be in a crowded room and still feel invisible. You can share a home, a bed, even a life with someone, and still feel emotionally alone. Because loneliness isn't about the number of people around us. It's about the quality of connection we share. But before we assume that people are complicated and pets are better, it's important to look deeper. Human relationships challenge us to grow in ways that animal companionship can't. They force us to communicate, to understand perspectives beyond our own, and to navigate differences. They help us build empathy, not just the kind that feels, but the kind that listens. Being with animals gives us peace. Being with people teaches us patience. One soothes the heart, the other stretches it. Sometimes, after getting hurt by people, we turn to pets because their love feels safer. They become our emotional sanctuary, and that's okay. But if we stay in that comfort zone too long, we might start closing off from human connection entirely, which can quietly deepen our loneliness over time. True balance lies in recognizing that both types of love serve different parts of us. Pets nurture our emotional security. People challenge our emotional maturity. We need both safety and growth. If you feel more connected to your pet right now, it doesn't mean you're broken or incapable of human connection. It just means your heart is craving safety, and your pet gives that to you naturally. Let yourself receive that love fully, because it heals. But when you're ready, allow yourself to open again to people. Not because you need to, but because love in all its forms deserves to be felt. And if you're someone who feels more alive when surrounded by people, who finds joy in laughter, conversation, and shared moments, remember that not everyone connects that way. Some people's silence isn't distance, it's self-preservation. Some hearts simply bloom better in quiet spaces. In the end, the goal isn't to choose between animals or humans. It's to understand what your heart truly needs right now. Maybe it needs peace. Maybe it needs connection. Maybe it needs both in different ways. What matters is that you listen to yourself without judgment. Because love, whether it comes from a pair of kind human eyes or the soft warmth of a pet beside you, is still love. And all love, in its many forms, reminds us that we're not truly alone. So which one are you? Do you find comfort in your beloved pet's quiet presence, or in the company of people who make your world feel alive? You can share your thoughts and feelings in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. After all, understanding how we love and connect is the first step toward healing the parts of us that still feel unseen.